Welcome back to DS Trucks. In today's video, I want to talk about the dump trailer, the stolen dump trailer. If you follow the channel, you know that we had a 14-foot, 14K dump trailer that was stolen from us earlier this year. At the start of this lawn mowing season, if you don't already know, DS Trucks, we have a lawn mowing operation. And at the start of this season, our brand new 14-foot, 14K short track dump trailer was stolen. So, you know, I want to fill you guys in and kind of let you guys hear this story and tell me what you think about it. So, pretty much, guys, I think I know who stole the trailer. Anyway, let me kind of tell this story. So, start of the season this year, we were in the labor shortage. I didn't have any employees. All my guys, they have been on unemployment and pretty much all ghosted me. It is what it is, you know. What can you say? Hey, the unemployment was pretty lucrative for the worker, and whatever. That's beside the point. That's a whole different conversation. But I had a guy reaching out to me wanting to work, and I had a little bit of mixed feelings about it. I talked to my wife and I told her, I don't know about having this guy work because all the problems that we've had in the past. This is a kid that I've known for a long time, since he was probably like 14, 15, I don't know, maybe 16. He worked for me for a couple years off and on. He had some problems, but I've always kind of, everybody's got a little bit of problem here and there in this lawn industry. For the most part, the guys, not everybody's perfect. He had some issues in the past, nothing too crazy, but I know he had some issues in the past. But he had been calling me and wanting to work. He's all fired up about working, cutting grass, and I was like, why are you so excited about cutting grass? Like, he's like, hey, I'm ready to, he's just turned 18. He got his license. He's like, I'm ready to run the truck. I'm ready to drive and all this. And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't text him back. I really had mixed feelings about it because he's a kid that listens to a lot of rap. He's always saying, the N-word, and it's inappropriate. I got clients and, stuff like that. And we've had conversations. Me and this kid have had conversations about this. Like, hey, man, you can't talk like that at work. And I've hired his friends, and his friends were able to shape up, but but at the same time, this is America. People can talk how they want to talk or say what they want to say, and I just I try to tell them not to say it. Whatever, a whole different conversation again. But I would tell him not to say that. He kind of would work on it from time to time, but it would slip out. Whatever. That was an issue that gave me a little bit of hesitant. What really made me hesitant about hiring him is just the type of person that thinks they know everything, and they're hard to really lead in a team when they're just so smart. They know everything. They're just the best. They're the best at everything. That kind of guy. I knew it would take my leadership. I knew that he was gonna challenge my leadership in the company in general. So I didn't. I had a lot of hard feelings about him. He thinks he's a thug type of guy, but he grew up in the suburbs. He thinks he's, Mr. Rapper, listens to all the rap, and it kind of, you're just a suburban kid, who's influenced by the wrong things. But anyway, he's all fired up about work. So I'm shorthanded. I don't got no one else working. I don't really want to hire him back, but at the end of the day, I know what he can do. I know he's trained. I know he can cut the grass. I know he's a very fast learner. He's going to be able to learn how to back up trailer and truck and all that stuff real fast. He's going to be able to handle the job. But the matter of the leadership or being a good leader himself in the company, as far as truck leader, that'd be a challenge for him. So I didn't know why he wanted to work so bad. I figured it's because he kind of talks about starting his own operation up as well. So I figured maybe that's got something to do with it. But I let him work. My little brother Jacob's working with me now. At the time, at the start of the season, Jacob was having mixed feelings about coming back. So it was just going to be me. I had no one else, guys. So I took him back. Just me and him working. And I started training him on the trailers. So this comes into where the dump trailer comes into play. Where the dump trailer was being stored, I took him to grab the other utility trailer that was next to the dump trailer so that he can learn how to back up trailers. And we hooked up, whatever. We backed up trailers for the whole day. And at the end of the day, we came back and parked the utility trailer next to the dump trailer. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know this is where you kept your trailers." And it's a little spot in the neighborhood. He lives in the same neighborhood. He goes, "I didn't know this is where you parked your trailers." And thinking about looking back to the whole situation where we were in the trailer storage, something happened there. When we went to look at the trailer, when we went to park the trailer, there was something in the bed of the trailer. There was like a dog mattress or something, like a little dog mattress was in the bed of the trailer. So in the process of us learning how to back up, we went to Home Depot and we picked up bags, like trash bags, and I was gonna put whatever was in the trailer in the trash bag and just move on. Like, I wasn't gonna make a big deal about it, and I was gonna bring it up to the storage yard that, hey, someone put something in my trailer, because I don't haul that kind of trash all the time. Rarely do I haul that kind of trash. My stuff's usually like stuff that can go to the landscape supply or to green waste. They don't want all that stuff mixed in, or if it's whatever, they don't want stuff mixed in. So I picked it up. But really, looking back, maybe I was telling him, hey, this place isn't all that secure. If somebody can just come in here and put something in here and nobody saw nothing, maybe this place isn't all that secure. So that did happen. Now, we trained on a Thursday, and I got the call that the trailer was stolen that week on a Tuesday. But the storage yard didn't call me and tell me that the trailer was stolen until that Tuesday. But the trailer was actually stolen on a Saturday at 12 at night. So from Thursday, Friday rolls around, and then Saturday the trailer gets stolen. Now, it was a little suspicious that the trailer got stolen right after we looked at the trailer. That was a little suspicious, and I didn't tell him that the trailer was stolen. I didn't say, hey, someone stole my trailer. I didn't say nothing. I was just going to say, let him, we'll see if he comes back to work. We'll see if he, says anything, whatever. So, we start work the next week. But in the meantime, between when the trailer was stolen, I was working at Ford, and I was working my nights, whatever. But my schedule's a little bit weird at Ford. It's 2 days, it's 2 nights. It's 2 days and it's 2 nights. So my sleep patterns are a little bit weird. But one night in between when my trailer was stolen and between when I found out that the trailer was stolen, something weird happened at my house in the middle of the night. I looked out the window and somebody was casing out my truck. There was a sound of an exhaust. An SUV was parked in front of my house, and they were parked in a way where you're not going to be able to see them really. You're just going to see like their car. Like my truck, the way they were parked in front of my house, if you look out, say if I had a Ring on my house, like a Ring doorbell or a camera surveillance on my house, then the surveillance isn't able to see their car because my truck's blocking. So they're parked across the street at an angle kind of in front of my truck, so I can't really see the car, but I can see that it's sitting there, and it's like 1 in the morning, 12 in the morning, whatever, and it's just sitting there looking or doing whatever. Like, what are you doing here? I have a street where there's no reason that if you don't live on my street, you shouldn't be on my street. It's just not the street where you would be. Like, there's nothing. It doesn't lead to nothing. So, that car was there. So I was thinking, instead of me getting all crazy and calling the police and what are they doing here, all that, because people do that, and it ends up being a big deal, and sometimes it's not as big a deal and you didn't need to call the police. So what I did is I remote started my truck, and when I remote started my truck, my headlights turned on, and as soon as I did that vehicle drove away. Just creeped away real slow, like oh. And it's like, yeah, things happen. People are up to no good. This is what I was thinking at the time. This guy was probably trying to look in people's cars and steal whatever out of people's cars. So that's maybe what he was doing. So I just remote started my truck and he left. And I didn't feel like there was no reason to get the police involved because, what are they gonna do? So I just went back to sleep and was like, yeah, nice try. Well, I finish out the week, and then I realized, on Tuesday when they call and tell me someone stole the trailer, it's like, somebody was in front of my house too the other day. Now this sounds kind of fishy. So he comes into work the next scheduled day that we're supposed to work to cut lawns, and he's sitting in front of the house, and he's got a assault rifle out, and he's like sleeping, like he's sleeping in his car. He falls asleep, I guess, in his car with the engine running. He's got an AR-15 sitting on the seat of the car, just a rifle. And I knocked on his window, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's just like, people might want to roll up on me or whatever. And I'm like, you can't be doing this. Now, in hindsight, I looked in his car. I should have called the police right away, and that would have been it. But, you see all this stuff, like young black kid gets shot because he's got an AR-15. Like, I don't need all that. I don't want the kid to get shot. Like, I don't want anybody to get shot. And I'm just like, why don't you put that away? I've known this kid for a long time, guys. I've known him since he was a preteen, whatever you want to call it. So I do have some history with him. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I said, put it away. Don't bring that over here. Don't bring that to work. What are you doing? This was around the time where there was just a police officer that was killed with an AR-15. If you think it's okay to have that in your car right now, when every police officer in the country knows about this altercation where this guy like shot another officer or an officer with a AR-15, why would you that's just the dumbest thing ever. And we talked about it, and I like talked to him about it over and over and over, and he was like, I won't bring it to work. And I kind of kept my eye on him for about a week, and kept looking. Now then, that's when all the stuff on Facebook started popping up where there's like someone trying to sell a 14-foot 14K dump trailer that's brand new for like the very low price, and they're saying right in the ad that they don't have a title. And I'm like following up on that, and I follow up, and I'm like searching, and right away I'm looking at the profiles, like, I wonder if these people know him. Like, there's like 2 or 3 different people that these profiles would pop up on, and I'm looking like, do they know him? So I'm looking into that. So a couple weeks go by, he works, and I finally tell him that the trailer was stolen. I didn't tell him right away. And he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get it back, and call me when you figure out who it is, and we're gonna go over there. And he's talking all crazy. I'm like, listen, man, I think it could have been, you were the last person to see it. And he's just like, no, I would never, I would, whatever. So, I'm not totally ruling out that he could have or couldn't have done it, but I did mention to him that it was stolen. And I was just gonna see if he even would know. I waited a couple weeks to see if he would even notice that it was stolen, because it was very suspicious that he was the last person to see it. So, other than myself. So, couple weeks go by, whatever. Still kind of looking at stuff, thinking about the trailer, whatever. And stuff starts happening inside of the work truck. I start getting text messages from people in the community, in the area, whatever, in some of the areas that we work. One of the messages was like, hey, whoever's driving your truck, they're acting kind of sporadic. He's revving up the engine at me. Like, he drove down the street, he saw me, and then he just revved the engine, like let the motor scream at me, and it was weird. Like, why are you doing that? He let me know that was happening. So because of that, I said, you know what, I'm gonna talk to the other guys in the crew, talk to other guys. At this time, there was like 2 more people, one my little brother. My little brother at the time didn't want to do all this stuff, drive the trailer and all that. But I ride in the truck. I'm kind of looking at him. I'm actually sitting in the back of the truck because it just kind of worked out that way. I'm just kind of looking at him, looking at the whole situation, letting him behave and talk and whatever. And he acted normal with me in the truck. But I talked to my little brother. He was like, yeah, I didn't say nothing, but he's been acting crazy. He got into an altercation at the Tropical Smoothie. There was a guy who was walking down the street and he throws all his garbage out of the window. My worker who stole the trailer, my worker threw all the garbage out of the window, and the guy stopped to say, hey man, pick that up. And then he's like, man, don't worry about, mind your own business and don't tell me what to do. And they start arguing. They're almost fist fighting, and this whole thing, it's like, that's crazy. Like, why is this crazy stuff happening? He's like, he's bragging about having fake Facebook profiles, and he steals money from people because he's got a fake profile. He sells different items, and then he never delivers the items. He doesn't even have the items. He just has a bunch of fake Facebook profiles that he delivers items, sells items with. And it's like, why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about fake Facebook profiles? Then he says, hey, I got a cousin that steals cars. Is this stuff he's bragging about and just talking about in the truck? He's like, hey, I got a cousin that steals cars, and he showed up with a brand new Corvette, and I was like, whoa, you got a cool Corvette, you stole it, that's hot. And he's like bragging about his cousin that steals cars, apparently continuously bragging about a cousin that steals cars. And that started to get weird. So I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna ride in a truck one more time. And I'm like ready to get in the truck, go and ride in the truck to see if I can, because once I talked to him, I've known him for so long, I've always told him, don't commit any, because he committed a crime when he was like 16, and then he didn't work for me for a year, and then it was like finally let him come back after a year, and it's whatever. But I told him, don't commit any more crimes, because you always get caught. You're not a good criminal. Like, this little dumb petty crimes that he's committed, they're dumb, they're minor, but you're not getting away because first of all, these crimes aren't even worth committing. Like, why are you committing a crime? There's nothing to gain. Like, one time he robbed himself of like $50. Like, he literally robbed himself of like $50 and got caught and had to wear a tether. That's the crime he committed. Whereas, like, he was with a friend who had, I don't know, $50, $100, a little bit of money, not a whole bunch. Who knows how much he really had, but he tried to set his friend up for his other friend to rob him, and then he like took $50 or $100 from his other friend, and then the police got involved, and they found his phone text messages, and he had got in trouble and all that, and he had to go to like juvenile, and he had to wear tether and all this crazy stuff. And I was just like, well, did you learn your lesson? Kinda. Apparently no, he didn't. So anyway, I told him, don't commit any more crimes. It's dumb. Like, you're not winning. You're sitting in jail over $25 or $50 or whatever. Like, why are you that's not crime. That's just stupidity. Like, you're robbing yourself and splitting the money with, like, why would you, what are you thinking? So I was gonna ride in the truck one more time, but he didn't show up to work. So I called him. I was like, hey, where you at? What happened? He goes, oh, I can't work today. I was arrested. It's like, well, what happened? You got arrested? Well, how did you get arrested? I got arrested because the police had a gun detector, and I was in Detroit, and they can detect the gun in my car. So when they detected the gun, they could see that it was in my car, and they went right to the AK-47. I had an AK-47, and they got the gun, and then they put me in jail. But now I'm out, and I gotta go get my car at the impound. And I'm thinking, did you just make that whole story up? Because that sounds like BS. And he goes, no, I'm telling the truth, man. I could show you a picture of my bracelet from me being in jail. And he shows me a picture of the bracelet, and it's like a bracelet with his face on it, but it doesn't have a date. And I'm like, okay, you showed me a picture of a bracelet with your face on it, with no date. What are you talking about? Like, I don't believe you've been in jail for having an AK-47 and that, because I've been telling them you're gonna end up in jail if you think you can ride around with a firearm and you're not even 21 with a rifle. And I really, honestly, at this point, at this stage of the game, I wish I would have reported it. I didn't even know. Honestly, I had to look into, like, I don't know. I didn't know you couldn't do it. I didn't know. If I would have known at the time that you can't be rolling around with an AR-15 just sitting on, I don't know. But yeah, after I kind of looked into that, you're not supposed to be doing that. But so he told me this BS story about a gun detector and the police somehow detected the gun in a car, but it's dumb because that's a lie. Like, the whole story is a lie. The police aren't detecting guns through cars. That would be unconstitutional. They can't just search your car with some kind of detection and find a gun without warrants and stuff like that. And what kind of detector will go through metal to see more metal? Like, there's no scanner that just shoots that kind of ray out that can just go through metal. I mean, metal is, signals just don't go through metal. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But that's what he told me, and right away I was like, yeah. And I got off the phone and I knew he was lying. So I kind of just thought about it and looked into it some more. And he does have a suspicious cousin that I won't say the name, but he did have a cousin with the same name on his page, and actually did find the car on his Facebook page. You know, it was a Jeep. It was like a silver Jeep that stole my trailer. And there's a picture of this employee with the silver Jeep on his Facebook page. And I gave all this stuff to police and whatever, but I don't think they're going to do anything or have anything, whatever. But after about a week or two, I finally was thinking, like, what should I do? So I called the employee and I told them that they've got you. They've got evidence. They said it was you. I told the police that there's no way it could be you because you would never do that. But they're saying it was you. And when I told him that, and I was just saying that to him, but when I told him that, he told me that I was going to get him in trouble because I had been running my mouth, that I was going to get him arrested. He said, now that you've been running your mouth, I'm getting arrested, and whatever. And I'm thinking, like, you pretty much just admitted to it at this point. So we had talks for a minute, and then he got all upset. He's really been upset about it. He's yelling at me. He said he was going to sue me and whatever. And I'm just like, well, what are you going to sue me for? And he's like, I don't know. We talked for a minute. You know, it was just a weird conversation. He sounds super guilty when he was talking to me. It was like, well, you definitely did it. And he's just like, I didn't do it. Like, but you just said you did it like 5 minutes ago. But it is what it is, guys. What a crazy situation. I wish I would have, like, I don't know. I kind of knew that he had a history of stealing from his own friends. We had no bad feelings before. It's dumb. It's like, why would you steal my trailer? And he doesn't even steal trailers or cars or vehicles, so he didn't even get anything. He has a cousin that steals vehicles, apparently, according to him. Mr. Guy that talks a lot, tells on himself a lot. He's got a cousin that steals vehicles. My vehicle comes up stolen, my trailer. What what a coincidence. You've got a picture of the car that stole my trailer on your Facebook. You got you posing with all these guns all over Facebook, and you've got a bunch of goofy friends who's posing with guns too all over Facebook. And it's like, to think like you showed up at my house with an AR-15, like, now I see why you did that. And all the crazy stuff that he's been saying, hey man, I'm getting an F-450, just wait, give it another 2 weeks, I'm gonna get an F-450. He's talking about stealing mine. Someone's been trying to steal my truck. Like, what the heck? Oh yeah, can I borrow the 250? Can I borrow the F-250? It's my birthday, I want to take the F-250. this weekend. Can I? No, like you can't take the F-250 for your birthday. That's the kind of stuff he's been saying. Guys, what a crazy situation. I made the mistake of letting this kid work. I had a bad feeling about him working, and I should have listened to my instincts and not even, like, it's hard, guys. I would have had to say, hey, no help. I'm going to do everything by myself. No help. Like, that's kind of the situation I was in there, but still don't want to make excuses there. Yeah, in a way, I messed up here by letting this kid work, but that's what happened. Do I know 100%? I know pretty much 90% that it was him. Do I want to call out his name and all that? No. Do I want to jump to conclusions and call out his cousins and all that? No. But it is what it is. It's a hit. I can take it. I can't, I made the mistake of trusting, of not securing properly, being busy. My excuse would be that, I'm so busy and I'm always doing something. I'm going YouTube, what am I doing? YouTube, Ford, landscape, YouTube, Ford. I'm pretty much working every day, all day. And that trailer wasn't totally squared away. So the new trailer's on order. It should be here soon. Going with a 16-foot trailer this time. Took a long time because there's a trailer shortage. The pricing is a lot higher than it was before because the trailer shortage. And it was nice. It was a nice trailer. But anyway, got a new one coming. So if you're watching this and you stole my trailer, I know you're probably watching this because he does follow the channel, but I know you're probably watching this. It is what it is, man. You're gonna end up ruining your life. It's gonna be horrible because you're never gonna learn. I tried to talk to you, whatever, but it is what it is. I've seen where you hang out. It's terrible, guys. The kid hangs out in crack houses. There was a situation where the kid ran away from home and his GPS, when you clock in for my company, it has GPS, so he would run away from home and he wouldn't clock out of the system. So his parents ended up calling and looking for him, and I put on the GPS they were looking for him, so I checked the GPS system to see where he's been so that I could tell his parents where he was. And I told them where he was, whatever, and they went and found him, whatever. But because the trailer was stolen, I went back and looked at some of those spots where he was. I never even thought to go and look where he was. I don't care. I just told his parents where he was because I was the last person to see him. I don't know. But I went and looked at those spots where he was. Honestly, guys, the kid's doomed. The kid's doomed. I don't know what to say. He's already wrecked his car. He works for me. I give him a good wage, give him $18 an hour, whatever, and he turns around, steals my trailer. He works for me, gets on this gravy unemployment because of my payroll and all that, because I'm one of the companies that actually does a real payroll, and gets on this gravy. And by the way, when he did get on the unemployment, it wasn't even working for me, but they rolled the as long as you had one job ever within the last 2 years or whatever, you're getting unemployment. And he wasn't working for me at the time, but they let him get unemployment because he worked for me sometime in the past. Like I said, he'd be off and on for a year because I'd be irritated with him for a year at a time because he was a problem kid. So karma, what goes around comes around. I've told him to straighten up. He's not going to, and he's just gonna live a horrible life. He's probably gonna end up in jail or getting killed, running around with these guns, posing with guns. It's just not gonna end well. So it is what it is. I always told you never get away with the crimes. You're probably gonna get caught with the trailer, by the way. I mean, most likely you're gonna get caught with the trailer. I'm working on that. I've got all the information of all your little cousins, and all your little buddies and all the cars that they've had, and you're probably going to get caught with that. So it is what it is. I got a new trailer coming. I'm not really upset about it, but that's what happened. For the viewers who were dragged into this because, I brought it up, and people probably be wondering what happened to the trailer that you always do videos with. But yeah, that's what happens. That's what happened. But anyway, this is DS Trucks. My name is Sean. See you in the next video. Over and out.